So Elon has specifically said he wants to develop an electric jet. And so we had a comment from FPV Reviews, who has commented on a few things. So thank you for your comments. And he's basically saying that if it is only an electrically powered motor, then he should be calling it a ducted fan, basically, rather than a jet engine.
Yes.
And this somewhat confused me.
Yeah, same.
Mainly because
we're not...
mainly because we don't know... Well, we're not
aerospace engineers.
No, but it also confused me because I don't know... Obviously, we don't know what Elon meant.
Yeah, that's very true.
And so we were looking at doing some background reading.
Yeah.
And it looks like there are kind of two, as far as I can tell, and I'm not sure which definition Elon's using, which is maybe the mystery here, of what a jet engine is. So there's the sort of mainstream kind of definition, the way
that it's commonly used, I guess.
Yeah, in common parlance, most people say a jet engine, meaning something that has a combustion occurring in it. But the really broad definition, which is apparently technically the definition.
Yes.
I don't know. I read this on Reddit, so it might not be. Is that it's anything even with a propeller in it could be classed as, that's not with a propeller, just a ducted fan or something with a propeller.
Yeah, that creates
a jet.
Creates a jet, or it doesn't have to be air; it can be water even.
Yeah, it can be water. Yeah.
It creates a jet of material, of mass, essentially, to generate forward momentum.
So we don't know which one of those definitions Elon is talking about.
Sure.
When he says he's designing, or he wants to design, or he's got an idea for an electric jet.
Yeah.
So FPV Reviews did mention that he potentially could be using something like hydrogen, burning hydrogen, or maybe even a hydrogen fuel cell to power the electricity. Now, if it's the thing with the burning hydrogen thing is to get it up to speed, because if you're just using a ducted fan, basically, then most things that are powered by those don't go. They're not supersonic planes.
Sure.
And so whether he's thinking of that design or not seems a bit odd.
Yeah, like a tweak of that design that somehow manages to get up to supersonic speeds.
Yeah,
maybe.
But so consequently, he's suggesting that maybe they actually use liquid hydrogen to get up to those types of speeds, and does like vertical landing and takeoff with just ducted electric fans.
Yes.
The thing is, though, I've heard Elon repeatedly. Well, I mean, two things. Firstly, he always slags off hydrogen. He doesn't like hydrogen fuel cells.
Doesn't like hydrogen fuel cells.
And doesn't like using hydrogen as a fuel.
No.
Because he does, and he was talking about this specifically in relation to Tesla. But he was saying, it's a pernicious molecule. It gets everywhere. It's very hard to contain. It's dangerous, and basically, it's a waste of energy using electricity to convert water to hydrogen.
Yes.
And so
which is definitely applicable to hydrogen fuel cells, because then you're just generating electricity again.
Yes. Now, obviously, in this use case scenario, you want a much higher energy density.
Yes.
For flying. So, although he may have been saying that about Tesla cars in general, about hydrogen, he may not mean that in relation to planes.
That's
he's not
true.
really exclusively talking about that then.
Yeah.
But that brings me on to the other point, is that he has explicitly said that he wants this plane to not be a hybrid.
Yes.
That it is going to be an exclusively electric aircraft.
Yeah.
Which suggests there's no combustion going on.
That's right. Yeah.
Overall, to me, with those two things, that he doesn't really like hydrogen, and that it's an exclusively electric aircraft. There's no.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we have no idea because he hasn't released any details, but
that's what he
based
has
on
said.
those two things, it does seem that there won't be any combustible fuel going into this at all.
So how the hell do you build something?
So how is it a jet then? In the common usage of the word jet. So we don't know which definition of jet he's using.
If he's using the common definition of jet, then maybe it's not a jet, and there is some way to design some fancy, ducted fan design with nozzles and all sorts of bits and bobs that mean it can go to those sorts of speeds.
really, really high velocity.
Or there's some other fancy thing.
Yes, there's been talk about, or rumours about, this possibility of using electricity to create the heat-driven expansion of air that you get in a combustion jet engine. Somehow either using an arc of electricity inside a small chamber in the middle of this, in the middle of the ducted fan part of it, or just having hot wires that you just flow air through. So that's using the high pressure from the fan as well as the expansion driven by
gases,
heat.
which is more akin to a normal jet.
Yeah, which
in the
so
conventional sense.
instead of having a combustible fuel that you use to generate that expansion, you have just heat generated through electricity, which is possible, but it seems quite
very
inefficient,
doesn't it? Yeah.
Because you're going to lose heat really quickly a lot of the energy just goes into heat, which is going to radiate into the rest of the engine and then into the air outside. And
yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a mystery, obviously, because he hasn't announced anything. But from those things, I can't work out what it could be, essentially.
No, it's really.
I don't know.
So either it's going to be a very refined ducted fan type idea. With somehow, or there's going to be some extra element to it that makes it more like what we think of as a traditional jet engine.
I mean, it's going supersonic. Can you spin up? Yeah, well, we don't know.
I don't. Yeah, to know
to that sort of speed. If anyone has any thoughts on that, we'd love to hear them.
Yeah, definitely.
Or any more thoughts to add.